What's up, guys? Welcome back. We are headed back to the 944 barn at the moment. I'm with Kayla and my friend Kevin. Kevin is in from Las Vegas, and he's on a cross-country tattoo guest spot trip with his Tesla. Second time he's done this. You'll see more of Kevin and his Tesla in some upcoming episodes. But right now, today's video is we are headed back to Elliot's place. You guys saw his place with 50 some odd 944s a few episodes back. And we're heading back. Got some cool stuff a-brewing. So we're about to turn into his place. We'll catch up with Elliot and we'll let you guys know exactly what's happening today. We're back at Elliot's place, the 944 barn, and we are going home with a Porsche 944. I know the first time I showed up here right before Helen for Alpine Volks Fair, we stopped here. This is when we first met Elliot. He had reached out to me on Instagram saying, hey, I'm kind of on the way from where you are in Chattanooga to Helen, Georgia. Would be awesome if you swung by to hang out for a little bit. Would love to show you what I got here, and we did. And I know after that, a handful of you guys thought that I may have been buying a Porsche off of him. I totally would have, but that was not the case. And that's actually not the case today either. My girlfriend Kayla is picking up a Porsche 944. And it's a pretty cool one. It's not a turbo, it's not an S2, but it's a first year 944. It's an 83, pretty cool color combo. It's been painted, but it's a Porsche factory color. Manual roof, manual steering, basically a visceral 944, lots of manual components. And I'll show you guys the car here shortly. You could see it in some of the clips the last time we were here, but we spoke about it. I actually did try looking for one as like a bundle deal, but unfortunately I'm quite exhausted right now financially with buying the Ben Pack lift, the new open trailer, the auto union, and actually there's another big update and a bit of news coming soon as well in the next few weeks that I've got some money tied up in. So Kayla decided to pull the trigger and buy a 944.
Yeah, I like the native names.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, Florida too has its big ones.
There she is.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
What do I think about what?
What do you think about what?
That I just bought this?
Yeah, are you excited?
I'm super excited.
So we're here with Elliot.
Hey.
So you guys saw him a few episodes ago, and yeah, so now we're back, leaving with a car. Kayla's wanted one for a long time, and turns out Elliot had one that he would sell that was basically turnkey ready to go. A car that he's done maintenance to, he'd done timing belts, he did a fuel service on it, did the fuel tank, and lots of other stuff, and we felt real confident in this car. Oh, and these too.
Yeah.
Look at this. So he knows I've got some vintage hubcaps.
Well, I don't know if you want me to watch
Wow, this is cool.
because I did.
So what year is your Roundy?
69.
I don't know.
She's got a 69 2002 Roundy, and these were the hubcaps off of the 69. And the ones you guys have seen already are off my 1960 700. So this is after they went to the new BMW Roundel from the stripes that were inside the actual blue and white. And these were just a pair that he had that he
Just an extra pair.
that he couldn't sell, and then decided they're in my way, and he knows I collect them. So yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much for those.
Yeah, of course.
So now we've got like some generational BMW hubcaps from the 60s.
So here's the title.
All right, so we're driving home. I'm driving because the seat rails are rusted, stuck, and it's a little too far back for Kayla to reach the clutch to depress it all the way. So I'm gonna look at the seat rails as soon as we get home. We're crossing into North Carolina right now. right, guys, well, we got the car home. Not a single issue. Just under a 3-hour drive home. As you saw, we hit a few heavy downpours on the way home. And just our luck, the windshield wiper arms didn't have any blades on them. Well, it had a blade, but the actual squeegee part of the blade was long gone. And driving it got pretty hairy. I only had like a 3-inch by 3-inch block section of clarity on the downstroke of the wiper blade or the wiper arm. So driving through the heavy rain along the windy Ocoee River was kind of hairy for a little bit. But the car had no hiccups at all. Quite a pleasure to drive, to be honest. I feel bad because Kayla hasn't really had a chance to drive it at all because the driver's seat rails are rusted shut. Elliot wasn't too excited to get into that, which I am fully in agreement on. He did a lot of work on this car before we went to pick it up, so we're super appreciative to Elliot for that. One of my favorite things about this car, though, is fifth gear. Fifth gear in this car is so long. When we got to the highway, which was probably for about 20 miles from Cleveland, Tennessee, down here to Chattanooga, it cruises on the highway phenomenally. Fifth gear is so long that we were cruising at about 75 or 80 miles an hour under 3,000 RPMs. It was probably 26 to 2,800 RPMs at highway speeds and even passing overtaking cars. I think what we'll end up doing, since it's a US spec car, we'll probably end up drilling the low impact shocks out and tucking the front bumper. In the back, it'd be awesome to do a Euro bumper since these stick out quite a ways. I'm not sure about the shocks in the rear. We might be able to actually tuck the rear bumper as well, just to kind of tidy up the car a little bit, kind of like the Euro bumpers do. This trim piece here had a stud that broke off, and so that doesn't reach through enough to get a nut on it anymore. And Elliot was nice enough to go into his vast stash of parts and get a driver's side or a left side bumperette piece that has good studs and hardware on it. So until the time comes that we do a rear Euro bumper on the car, we can at least get that bumperette on there and that isn't sticking out. But since we've been back, I've worked on getting the seat rails at least loosened up enough to hammer them forward and get into a lock position forward enough for Kayla to be able to press the clutch all the way and reach the pedals in a safe manner so she can actually drive the car now. We've got wiper arms, got new wiper blades, I should say. New wiper blades are on. Her and Kevin have been working around the car, cleaning the glass up. Kevin was kind of wiping down the interior. So here's the interior. Got some of the mats out at the moment, but it's a brown interior. The shift boot base has come up, so the tabs are broke on that. We got to look for one of those. But the interior is really cool because this is an early 944 specific. The yellow indicators on the instrument cluster, super cool. All right, so it just started raining a little bit, but we are going to go for Kayla's first drive in the 944. Now that she can reach the pedals. It's a very weird looking driveway right now. So this is our first car with a manual steering rack, so that takes a little bit of getting used to.
Yeah, a little bit. It's okay though.
This here would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
So the Corvair and the 700 are manual racks as well, but they're rear-engined, and just the design of those steering racks or steering setups are super easy. So even when you're pulling into a parking spot at very low speed, it's really easy, but these cars are way more stiff, require a little bit more strong arming. So what do you think? Do you love it?
I love it. I'm gonna have to start lifting weights though.
Yeah, it's a strong arm steering system.
Yeah. But it's fun to drive.
All right, guys, well, that's going to do it for this episode. Super excited for Kayla and myself, basically, because I'll be learning a lot about this platform and doing some fun stuff to the car. I think the first thing we're going to do is continue tidying up some of the mechanicals so she can drive it more comfortably. As I mentioned, we got the seat hammered forward so she could drive it. I think we're going to bring it back another click. That'll make it a little bit more comfortable for me, too. Might get rid of the 16s. She kind of wants to go to 17s. Elliot gave us some eye-back like sleeve over coils that we'll continue to build on. You want to lower it?
Mm-hmm.
So I think what we'll do is we'll leave the rear torsion for now. I think once I get the lift in to drop the subframe, well, not the subframe, but to drop the trailing arms down in order to get the torsion bar out to click it down one. You'll see on some of the race cars, they'll have a hole cut right here in the actual bottom of the fender to pull that cap off to get to the torsion bar. So a lot of guys at the track would take a big hole saw and cut that out so you could pull it out without having to drop any of that stuff down. We're not going to do that to her car. It sits real nice as it is, though. It looks amazing on the 16s with some beefy tires. Handles real well. We drove it pretty spiritedly on the way home before we hit the pouring rain. So what do you think? Down a little bit in 17s?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Down a little decent bit.
That's what I like to hear. She's no stranger. She's had lowered cars for years, so we'll get this thing sitting right, and right now it's driving right, which is great. Leave in the comments what you guys like seeing on 944s, what your favorite style is, if you like motorsport, if you like, you know, different style wheels, if you like spoke wheels, if you like mesh wheels. I'm definitely a fan of mesh wheels on these 80s German cars. Kayla's had some RSs on some Volkswagens, and we kind of have the similar taste in wheels for this era cars. But leave in the comments what you guys would do to a car like this and how you guys like the aesthetics of these early 80s 944s. Gonna end the video there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode.